Hey everybody, Supremisis here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about what are the two most worrying things about Anthem in my opinion so far. Okay, so the same rule applies, is that I'm not going to be caught up in the hype. I'm going to keep it completely honest with you guys and give you guys my honest opinions, and I want to hear what you guys, think about it in the comments down below, because I love making these types of videos and talking about, even just issues with the game, or even just helping you guys generally, like my Ghost Recon Wildlands videos. Those videos are really fun to make and I enjoy making them. And so sitting here and making this commentary for you guys is that my point that I'm trying to get across to you guys is informing you guys and educating you guys on what my personal opinion is, and it is only my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion about it, feel free to disagree with me and go down in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. I'm completely active with you guys down there. I'll reply to you as soon as you guys comment down there if I'm not making a video. So go ahead and do that. And if you guys do disagree with me, or even if you guys do agree with me, then just leave a like on the video, and hopefully this does get across to EA, making Anthem and stuff like that. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is going to be the weapons and armor in Anthem that you guys can actually get your hands on and how they work. So I'm going to be referring what I'm saying to games like Destiny and The Division, those two video games right there, simply because they are the closest things to what Anthem is looking to play out like. What I mean I'm going to be referring them to The Division and Destiny is simply the fact that those games, all three of these games, look similar in the way that they play out, simply because you guys have a level progression system, you have an end game, and you have things that need to be basically fresh, or something that you need to come back to in order to keep playing the game for years and years and years. So now that you guys understand that, I'm now going to actually talk about my point, which is the weapons and gear and actually how they work. And I'm going to play you guys a clip in about 2 seconds from now, and I'm going to then give my thoughts and comments on that.
Perfect. All right, so let's get back to our build. So we're going to get deep here. I think it's about to get complicated.
Take a seat, buckle your seatbelt.
Get a spreadsheet out,
Yeah.
get a pencil and a calculator. We're going to just talk through Darren's build, the different pieces of it, and then at the end we'll talk about the synergies. I think if we gave the high level thing, you've created a build that excels at being a ranger who hovers,
right?
And by using gear, you can do lots of bonus damage and hover longer and reduce cooldowns and keep doing lots of gear.
Right. So I hover, I do explosive damage.
Yep.
I do ultimates as much as possible. That's the three key pieces.
Right. So let's explain how that works.
Okay, before I let the clip go any further, and this is what I'm going to be talking about, is that in the clip, they were explaining in the live stream that they have things in the game for the gear and the weapons is extremely hard to understand, is what they said. They said that you need a calculator, you need a spreadsheet, you need a pencil, you need to sit down as well, and you need to buckle up a seatbelt. They explain this, something that's so simple in the game, that should be simple with the pieces of gear that you have, is really hard to, 1, explain, which it shouldn't be if it's in a game. 2, it's going to be extremely intimidating to new and casual players. And 3, it's just way too complex for a video game that just needs something simple. Now, what I mean by that, and what I'm going to refer to now, is going to be Destiny, because I personally think that Destiny did this perfectly. So what I mean by Destiny did this perfectly is that they had 3 things that you needed to focus on, which was 1, grenade cooldown, 2, melee cooldown, and 3, ultimate cooldown, okay? Melee cooldown, obviously when you melee people and whatnot. Grenade cooldowns, obviously your grenades. And your ultimate ability is obviously your super, where you get a bow and arrow or a hammer or whatever it may be. Okay, so while editing the video, I realized that what I was trying to say was extremely confusing and I didn't really make any sense of it myself, so I'm going to give you guys a better example here. So for example, you guys know that if you guys play Crota's End, the gauntlet pieces, which are arm pieces, would give you 10% reload time every single time you got that piece of armor, but every time you got that piece of armor, you would have either plus 20 in cooldown for your grenades, or your cooldown for your melee, or your cooldown for your ultimate ability. So what I'm trying to say is you would get the piece of armor almost every single time, maybe not sometimes, but let's say you wanted melee cooldown and you kept getting grenade cooldown, you would just need to replay that raid every single week until you got the armor piece with 10% plus in the reload time and 10% plus in your melee recharge rate. Does that make sense? With Anthem explaining it and telling you that it has, you know, this and this and this and this and this, they were talking about 4 different things in one simple thing that they can like round it up to. Now what I mean by that is that they were talking about you need to be hovering for all of this stuff to activate. You need to throw a grenade and kill 2 people for something else to activate. And then once you actually do that, once you kill 2 people with your grenade, you then throw your missiles off of your shoulder, right? You then activate your missiles to then do more damage, and then your missiles do more damage, and then if you end up killing people with your missiles, you then get more super energy. Now, do you see how like confusing that is to explain? So you need to throw a grenade while flying, then activate your missile launcher, and then you get super energy, and then you can stay hovering in the air. When Destiny, you need a piece of armor that says plus 10 in grenade cooldown, and then there you go. That's all you need to have. You don't need such complexity in a video game that's going to scare new players and just casual gamers who just want to play the game. Yet again, I'm going to come in right now to quickly talk about what I was saying, and I know what you guys are going to be saying before I say this, is that in Destiny, I know that there's things where if you throw your super energy, or, you know, if you throw a grenade and you kill 2 enemies, then you gain more super energy. It's something so simple like that. You know, just things that just help one other thing instead of having like different things that help multiple things. Does that make sense? With Anthem, they were trying to explain it that you need to be hovering for any of this to activate, and then once you're hovering, you then need to throw a grenade that does kill 2 people, and then once you do that, then you get bonus damage. Now with Destiny, all you need to do is get a double kill, and then you get like more super energy for your super, or your melee cooldown is reduced. It's simple things like that that makes the game more understandable and easier to play. So I know that took, 7 minutes of my entire video, which is 3/4, to explain how the gear and weapons work and my concerns on them. But I really hope that you guys do understand where I'm coming from with that. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is raid and gear specific loot in Endgame. Now, what I mean by that, and another example referring back to Destiny, is simply the simple fact that you have things and events every single week that refresh every single week that you can only do once a week for a chance to get something that you want at the end of whatever challenge it is. For example, raids. And for example, the House of Glass, okay? You would go in, you would do the entire raid with 6 people, and then at the end of it, once you defeat the boss, which is really hard to do, you would finally, get the Vex Mytho class that you've always wanted at a chance of it dropping. So sometimes you would not even get it. And that is what keeps players coming back. For example, having something so hard to do like a raid and getting the Galahorn at the end of the raid. Players who have the Galahorn and have the Galahorn, they're like, oh my god, I've got the Galahorn. Oh my god, that guy's got the Galahorn. It's such an overpowered weapon. We need him on our team right now. And if you have weapons like that in Anthem, that keep players coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back every single week for the weekly refresh, your game is going to last a very long time, even until the next DLC comes out for more weapons like that and for more gear like that. So, long story short, in the end game, if you guys want players to play longer, then you need something that is raid specific and only a chance to drop, and you can only do it once a week. What I mean by that is that if you have something like the Division, which in my example for this, for raids and stuff like that, they allowed you to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, as many times as you want through a week or a month to get the item that you want, which in my opinion is a really bad system, simply because players end up burning themselves out on playing the game for something that they want to get. When unlike Destiny, if you can only get loot once a week out of it. You can keep doing it all week if you want to help people, but as in like you can only get loot once, and just depending on your loot drops and how lucky you get with the RNG is what actually kept players coming back, is like the guess and the guessing of wanting something. So another example I want to give on how Destiny's system of like weekly resets and stuff like that for loot is perfect in my opinion, because it allows you to get into a weekly routine and a schedule that you have with all of your friends. And now what I mean by that is that, every week and every Tuesday, it would basically, in Destiny, it would reset at 5 o'clock my time every single time. So what would happen is that once I got home from school, is that I knew I had 2 hours on my hands. So from 3 till 5, I had 2 hours on my hands to get some food, to, shower and stuff like that. Basically prep myself for the raid. And by 4:40 every single day, all of my friends would still be, would then be on, ready for the weekly reset. And then every Tuesday, what we would do as soon as it reset, we would play, the smaller things like strikes and whatnot. And then we'd wait until Friday. And then on Friday night, because we have, our entire night ahead of us, to do the raids, which were the harder, longer things to do that usually take a few hours to complete. Now, actually moving back onto what I was talking about 2 minutes ago. A prime example of that as well is like loot boxes and stuff like that. The reason why players used to buy a lot of loot boxes is not because, it's not because of how annoying it is to get something. It's because something in there is a really slim chance to get. And you just have to keep coming back and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until you get it. And that is what an RNG based game literally perfects itself in, like Destiny, and why players in Destiny came back every single week to get a Vex or to get a Galahorn. That's my point. Now, what I'm about to say, and I'm going to say this out of pure honesty, out of my pure opinion in myself through the videos that I've made in the past, is that why Anthem is actually Destiny 2. That video, if you guys want to actually go watch that before I say this. What I'm trying to say is that players, in my personal opinion, I feel like they just wanted Destiny 2 that Destiny 2 and Bungie could not give. So what I mean, EA, and what I mean, Anthem, is that, BioWare, sorry. I think that if you guys just copy and paste how the mechanics and the fundamental things in a game and how Destiny works, you put that into Anthem, but then make Anthem your own game, I think players will be extremely, extremely happy with that. A prime example of this, again, is going to be Battle Royale games. Fortnite, PUBG, blah, blah, blah. There's so many games out there now that copy literally how a game works, and players play PUBG and play Fortnite and play whatever other, Battle Royale game, or they at least consider it because they know how the game works. It's just the way that the game looks and how the game actually plays out at the end of the day is what players are interested in different types of games. So what I'm trying to say, make Anthem Destiny 2, make Anthem the Destiny 2 that we've all wanted, and we will literally have millions of dollars coming into your guys' pockets and whatnot. So that is about it for today's video. If you guys did actually enjoy my opinion, agree, with my opinion, then go ahead and leave a like in the video. And if you guys disagree, leave your comments and thoughts down in the comment section down below. So with that being said, and with that out of the way, I hope you guys did actually enjoy today's video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.